Alright, it's time to learn about some simple chess calculations. So here we have white down to the king. Now if there were just two kings left, then it would be a draw. There would be no way to be able to put either of the pieces in checkmate. But we have a black pawn that may be able to be promoted. And how do I know if it's going to be able to be promoted? Well, we don't unless we have some facts. And so here are the facts. So one of the ways you can do this is you're going to take the black pawn, and if you can follow the diagonal all the way here and make a square to this point here, you see the square? All the way here, up. And if that king can step inside that square, then that king can be able to capture that pawn. The question is, who moves first? And that's going to determine whether or not he can catch them or not. So let's presume in this first situation that white moves first. So remember the square that we're forming? So white to move. And then the pawn moves, and then the king moves, and the pawn moves, and the king moves, and the pawn moves, and the king moves. So it turns out in this circumstance, yes, the king was able to step inside the square, and so you wouldn't have to try to work it out in your brain. All you have to do is know the concept of the square to find out whether or not you could stop that pawn. But let's look at it another way. Excuse me. Let's presume it's black to move. Now, what happens? Remember, we have the square. However, with the first move, and now white's to move, what happened? The square got smaller, didn't it? So can white step into that square to stop it? No. And it promotes, and then of course you probably would get a queen, and it should be an easy victory for black. So that's just a way of doing simple calculation here to be able to see if you could be able to promote that pawn or if that king will be able to stop it. So do a little bit of work on that. It won't require much to be able to grasp that, and you'll be well ahead as you continue to do your development as a new chess player. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.